What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and this morning we're once again going to be talking about the end of DMZ, some really important updates that we learned over at COD Next, plus even more. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and also as a reminder, we got plenty of brand new content going up over on dkdynamite.com, expanding on all the coverage you're seeing here on the channel, just in the form of articles on the website, and plenty of tweets going up every hour over on Detonated's Twitter. With that being said, I had way too much fun with the Doom Super Shotgun Blueprint, as you're seeing in the background footage. We were going off with it the other day in multiplayer, but I brought this into Warzone, and I'm aware the Lockwood trigger attachment has been live since the launch of Season 6, but using that attachment with this Doom Blueprint has been addicting, so enjoy the dub we got here on Ashika Island. It was a crazy game. Now, as I mentioned previously, it's no surprise that DMZ has not gotten much content over the last couple of months. The last major update, at least in my opinion for DMZ, was the beginning of Season 4, where we got introduced to Vandal as a new Warzone map. We got DMZ support for the map Day 1, featuring a new weapon case, a new boss, and several other quality of life features that really made DMZ feel like a new game yet again. I think every major title update following the mode's launch in Season 1 made the mode feel like it was a completely different and just revitalized experience every time we hopped on. Then after Season 4, we just didn't really see much added to the mode, and I think the real last update that DMZ got, which is permanent at least, is the introduction of the Serpentine Mastery Camo, which I'm going to be going for live on stream later today. It's a cool update for the most hardcore DMZ players. I've talked about that camo before in length, of course, because there's flaws with the way that quest works, but aside from that, we've gotten very minor things on our roadmaps, like equipment, faction mission updates, but we haven't even gotten a wipe in DMZ for our inventories in quite some time, since I believe Season 4, so clearly support for DMZ has been coming to an end. Now, although I think DMZ deserves even more support through the MW3 life cycle, the curtains are clearly closing on the mode for one reason or another, and right before the COD Next event, I know there was crazy marketing going on for Modern Warfare 3, I was making a ton of other videos at the time, and then I flew out to LA. While all that was happening, a statement was posted by the team over at Call of Duty, where they went ahead and wrote, MW2 DMZ Community Update. Although DMZ won't be showcased at COD Next this week, we're excited to share that we will continue to support the DMZ beta. Players will have continuing infiltration opportunities for Mazrah, Ashika, Vandal, as well as Building 21 and the Koshai Complex. Thank you for your continued support and dedication to the beta. We will share further updates closer to Season 1. Now, when I first read that statement, I interpreted this as they're not going to shut down DMZ even when Modern Warfare 3 comes out, but they're going to have more information about DMZ closer to Season 1 and when that update drops, because clearly something is happening to where Mazrah is going to get cycled out for the new Warzone map. And don't forget, DMZ is currently attached to Warzone and is a free-to-play experience. Although it's like a Modern Warfare 2 mode, it's not tied to the Modern Warfare 2 application at all. It's tied to Warzone because, again, it's free. It's a live service experience. Now, I know some folks out there took that statement as, oh yeah, the mode is still going to get updates throughout Modern Warfare 3 cycle, and they're going to talk more about that during Season 1. I think it's reasonable to have drawn that conclusion after reading this statement, but once COD Next happened, we learned even more about what the statement actually meant. So during the pre-brief that I attended right before COD Next, it was confirmed by the studio that the only Warzone maps that are going to be playable once the Modern Warfare 3 integration drops in December with Season 1 are Urzikstan, Vandal, and Ashika Island. Those maps will support Battle Royale, Resurgence, and Plunder. It's unclear what happened to Lockdown, but those will be the only 3 maps you can play in Warzone. Now, obviously, this doesn't account for DMZ, because DMZ supports, again, Mazrah, Ashika, Vandal, Building 21, and Koshai Complex. So if Urzikstan is meant to cycle out Mazrah for Battle Royale, what would that mean for DMZ? Since DMZ is attached to the Warzone application, is it possible that Mazrah still remains an add-on for DMZ, an optional one that is? So for those out there that maybe only want to play Warzone BR, they can choose to, of course, uninstall DMZ, but if you weren't able to optionally uninstall DMZ from your Warzone application, then things would get complicated. If you want to go in and just play BR on Urzikstan, Vandal, or Resurgence on Ashika, why would you have to be forced to keep Mazrah when that map's not even supported by Warzone? Obviously, through the COD HQ application, you can get rid of DMZ if you want, but I'd say if you guys want to keep DMZ, it's very likely that Mazrah will come with that, which would increase your file size quite a bit. Now, don't forget that Rebirth and Fortune's Keep are joining the Resurgence rotation later in 2024. It's unclear if either Ashika or Vandal are going to get swapped out out for those 2 maps, or if we'll have 4 Resurgence maps playable at a single moment in time. That's crazy to think about, but with all that in mind, if you choose to keep everything installed, that's going to be pretty hefty on your hard drive, no matter if you're on console or PC. I mean, on console, I don't know how you can even fit all of that without an extra external drive, but that's going to be a lot of maps through the Warzone application. But seriously, imagine if we did get DMZ support for Urzikstan or some of the later Warzone maps coming in 2024, Rebirth and Fortune's Keep. That would be really cool to see. I really enjoy DMZ, and I've had a blast covering it over the last year. I'll always support DMZ whenever it gets updates, of course, and we'll talk about it as often as we possibly can. But for now, it looks like Modern Warfare 3 Zombies is going to fill that void that DMZ is leaving behind with the beginning of MW3 cycle. Now, don't worry, a lot of content creators, including myself, did ask for more clarity about the future of DMZ, in which the response we got was pretty clear. So DMZ is staying tied to Modern Warfare 2. If you guys are like, wait, DK, what does that mean? It's not even tied to Modern Warfare 2. Tied to Modern Warfare 2 in the sense that content-wise, gameplay-wise, movement-wise, it's tied to Modern Warfare 2. But when it comes to MW3's Warzone integration, which will be incorporating all of the gameplay movement and mechanic overhauls that we currently have in multiplayer, all that's going to be incorporated into Warzone with Season 1. None of that, however, is transferring over into DMZ. No new movement, no new weapons, no new perk systems, nothing new with Modern Warfare 3 or the upcoming Warzone integration is coming to DMZ at all whatsoever. DMZ will stay as is and will remain in beta. That is the exact answer that I got when I asked this behind the scenes, and when other creators also asked behind the scenes as to what the future of DMZ holds. Now, it's unfortunate that DMZ isn't going to come out of beta. I'm not sure when that would have happened. I don't know if maybe MW2 got a second year of support that would have meant that DMZ got taken even more seriously and they would have took it out of beta and updated it a little bit differently. Or if maybe when Infinity Ward comes out with the new Call of Duty in the next couple of years, they'll bring DMZ back, hopefully still free to play, and it won't be labeled as an in-beta experience. Instead, it'll be out of beta and will be handled differently. I'm not sure what that could entail, but for now and moving forward, DMZ is going to remain in beta, is not going to be shut down, which I'm happy about because I know I mentioned this previously on the podcast. If they're going to cycle out Mazrah for Urzikstan, and let's say you couldn't optionally uninstall DMZ from your COD HQ app. I know you could do this on console and PC now. If you weren't able to do that, I would say, well, at that point, they're probably just going to shut down DMZ support. It's a live service experience, and it's considered an in-beta one. They could shut it down at any time. I mean, look at Multiverses, for example, or other games out there that were in beta for a while. They were free to play, had, preseason or Season 1 updates, battle passes, support for months, and all of a sudden got shut down. And I know in Multiverses' case, that game is coming back at some point, but for now, it's over. You can't play it anymore. So I was thinking that DMZ could possibly receive that same treatment. I didn't want that to be the case, but I speculated about it. Thankfully, that's not going to be the case. DMZ is going to remain online, but will just remain in beta as it is now. Now, obviously, Modern Warfare 3 Zombies is an extraction type of experience, very different from the usual Zombies iterations we get, and it's essentially a sequel to both Outbreak from Cold War and DMZ from Modern Warfare 2. It's combining the best of both Outbreak and DMZ in my opinion, and with the fact that we're going to see the return of insurance weapons, contraband, and a bunch of features that we had in DMZ inside of MW3 Zombies now, that just tells me that it wouldn't really have made sense to even update DMZ throughout MW3's lifecycle. I would have been down for it, but it would have been awkward to see two different extraction type of modes updated at once. I know you could argue, well, DMZ is free to play through Warzone, MW3 Zombies is not. It's an on-disc experience, so it would have made sense. I get that argument too, but I just couldn't have seen that many resources going into it. But you could play devil's advocate and say, well, what else is Infinity Ward really going to be doing for the next couple of years if their next COD isn't until 2025, 2026? That's a while away. And I have also seen the argument that because a lot of bundles in Modern Warfare 2 offer the benefits, people consider them pay to win, because of that fact alone, there would be no way they ever shut DMZ down. I totally get that argument, but in all honesty, none of the bundles that have DMZ benefits are marketed solely around those benefits, right? They're bundles such as the classic Ghost 2009 pack. that pack would have sold great anyway, and the focus of that pack is not on the DMZ bundles, it's just a bundle that happens to have DMZ benefits. So I don't think that was ever a real reason that they would have had to keep DMZ online. I honestly wouldn't have been surprised if, you know, they shut DMZ down and everyone's like, oh, what about the bundles that we bought with the benefits? I mean, you still get all the content from those packs usable in MW2 and Warzone, you just won't have the extra ability to have that fast and short weapon cooldown slot, or the ability to then spawn in with the gas mask anymore, or whatever the benefit was. That would have got messy, but again, considering Warzone Caldera shut down and people that bought bundles during that era can no longer use them unless they own the games that those bundles came from, that's already something crazy that's happened before, so that wouldn't really have surprised me if something like that happened again. But people have also asked if the benefit bundles from DMZ would transfer over to zombies, especially, you know, ensured weapon cooldown bonuses and being able to spawn in with a certain type of vest or a gas mask, a self-revive. As of now, no information has been provided about how those benefits would transfer to zombies. I highly doubt it's going to be the case, and I'm sure if anything, there'll be new type of bundles throughout MW3 cycle that do offer similar type of benefits, but that are exclusive to zombies only. Now, as I talked about in previous videos and over on the podcast, the Haunting is essentially the final update for DMZ. I mean, it kind of is, because the Haunting festivities being added in are only temporary, right? All the limited time modes and the map updates, the boss fights, the challenges, the rewards. None of that is permanent, so it's not really a quote-unquote update for DMZ that you'll be able to experience past, what, October, early November. Something to enjoy DMZ with, but like I said earlier in this video, the last major update for DMZ was the introduction of the Serpentine camo, or the small field upgrades or equipment changes that got introduced at the end of Season 5. That's really it. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on an update in regards to the ending of DMZ? Are you sad that it's not going to be integrated with the Modern Warfare 3 Overhaul coming to Warzone? And what are your thoughts on everything else we discussed? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.